the upper part of the fee structure and not the lower part. For example, for the government-sponsored students, the per semester charges, the upper part is 19,900. Who has a fee structure? Can you perhaps see that? It's 19,900, right? I want somebody to agree with me. It's 19,900. But do you see other charges below there for first timers? Now, the top part, 19,900, is paid by every student who is a government-sponsored student or who is in that program that you have a fee structure for. But the lower part indicates fees that is paid only once. For example, graduation fees is paid only once at the end of your final semester. Commission for University Education fees is paid once in your first semester. So what am I saying? I am saying that your fees for the first semester is going to be different from your fees for the subsequent semesters, because a first-time student pays the per semester charges plus the one-off charges. So when you are interpreting the fee structure, ensure that you do not only look at the upper part, and especially government-sponsored students have that argument that, but you indicated in the fee structure that our fees is going to be 19,900. So 19,900, yes, for most of your programs in semester one, but the other charges must apply in semester one as well. I hope we have understood that. So you should know your fees. You should know your fees. A good example is there are courses that are slightly expensive. Nursing, for example, is a relatively expensive fees. So expensive program. So check out your fee structure, study it. If there be anything that you do not understand, write to us, accounts@spu.ac.ke, or come to the Central Administration Block, Students Finance Office on ground floor. We will be able to interpret it for you. Why am I deliberating on that point? I'm deliberating on that point because there are students who will come at the very end of the semester and say, but I thought my fees was supposed to be this. Do not think in the end. Let us discuss it now so we do not have such inconveniences on your part at the end of the semester. So let's talk about registration. How do you register for a semester? So part of that will be discussed by Dr. Ruth Kingo, who is seated in front there. She is the registrar and she's going to tell you much more about registration. But for me, this is how it goes. Registration for any semester is a three-step process, right? And kindly be with me so that we don't confuse anything anywhere. Registration is a three-step process. So you first of all need to log on to your portal. Of course, you will see your timetables for the semester and things like that. Then, number one, you will book units from your portal. So you are doing 6 units, for example, this semester. That is what most bachelor students do. What do? You go to your portal and you select those units. So that is called units booking. And units booking is free of charge. So you can't say that I'm unable to book because I have not paid fees. So we have said that is step number one. After booking your units, you need to pay at least 40% of your fees. So pay at least 40% of your fees because 40% is the registration threshold that we have put or we have tied onto registration. So log on to your portal, then submit or register your units. If you don't do those 3 steps, you have not effectively registered for that semester. If you don't get anything else in this orientation, at least get that. Get the registration process. Get that you have to book your units, you have to pay at least 40%, and then you have to click submit or register. If you don't do that, you are not a student in that particular semester. You will not be able to sit your cards. You will not be able to appear on the auto-generated class register. You will not be able to do your exams. So again, it does not matter that you have paid all your fees. If you don't book and register, you're not a bona fide student for that particular semester. That is as far as it goes. Remember the 40%. That is very crucial. I want to take you through two documents that are very important as far as students' finance is concerned, and then I will be done. So there are two financial documents on your portal that you will have to keep on checking every now and then. Number one is the pro forma invoice. The pro forma invoice shows you your fees for the semester and the 40% requirement for that particular semester. So for you to be able to use your pro forma invoice, you must first of all book your units. So you book your units in your portal, and then you go to its course registration under academics in your student portals, and then view pro forma invoice. Kindly, I think it's the next slide. Yeah, that it is academics, where there is units registration down there, view pro forma invoice. If you have booked, if you have selected your units, that pro forma invoice will tell you how much you are supposed to pay for the semester and the 40% requirement for that semester. So again, what am I saying? That you don't come to the office to ask, how much is my fees for this semester? Why? Especially for the self-sponsored students, fees is charged per unit. So your fees is not going to be the same as the fees of your classmate, because your classmate could be taking 7 units and you are doing 5. That is why you need to book and then check out your pro forma invoice for your total fees. Your fees is specific to you. Then the other document is called the fee statement. The fee statement then will show you how much you have been charged for the semester. That's the invoice. And then how much you have paid and the running balance. And for that, you go to your portal, then financials, fee statement, and then you have to click print fee statement for you to be able to download it in PDF format. So pro forma invoice, very important for showing you your fees for the semester. Fee statement for showing you your invoice, your payments, and your running balance. Those two documents, make sure you are able to access them from your portal. Boarding fees is paid in full on day 1, and boarding fees is 40,650 for full board, and 11,550 for those of you who are taking bed only. Again, if you are a boarder, then it means you have to pay the 40,650 plus 40% of your fees on day 1. Or if you are on bed only arrangement, you need to pay 11,550 plus 40%. And 40% does not necessarily mean that you cannot pay 50 or 60 or even 100% of your fees. We are just saying that 40% is the minimum threshold. Our mode of payments are as enlisted in the next slide. Direct deposits, bankers' checks, institutional checks. Institutional checks are checks like checks from CDF or the county or from the Ministry of Education. Then we also have an M-Pesa pay bill number. Our bank accounts, National Bank, Equity, Family, and M-Pesa. So if you get a St. Paul's Barclays Bank account, do not use it. because it is not supposed to be used by students. So the accounts that are used by students are National Bank, Equity, Family, and the M-Pesa pay bill number, which is 632-333. Do not deposit your fees with a bank agent. Why? Because a bank agent does not take your student number, which is your unique identifier. So use the banks or use M-Pesa. We also do not receive cash. Credit transfers may not be relevant to most of you, but if you have done a course before and you scored a B play, a C, you scored a C in that unit and you do not wish to retake it in your new program, what you do is that you apply for credit transfers, and they are chargeable at 3,000 per unit, and you pay for the credit transfers on semester 1. So that is as far as our orientation goes. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a few points which I like to call important information, just in case you forget, and then you will remind me what is the registration process, then we'll be done. So this is the important information that you need to know from the Students Finance Office. Number 1, that your student number, you know, the BBAM LMR 2345 2021, that one is very, very important, and it needs to appear in all your communication to the university. So are you depositing money at the bank? You must indicate your student number. Your student number is your unique identifier. Are you writing an email to us? You have to use your email account, the one that has your student number. And in the case of any hitch, if you are giving us any information, give your student number. Your student number is your unique identifier, because there could be so many students called Jen Wanji Kondomo, but we are not going to have another BBAM LMR 123421. So it's only you, use it as your unique identifier. Then indicate that number when you are making any payment. So are you paying via M-Pesa? Use your student number. Are you paying a library fine? Use your student number. Are you paying at the bank? Use your student number. So again, indicate your student number in your transactions, especially with our office and even with the other offices, because that is what we use to identify you. Ensure that you appear on class lists, especially now that we'll be doing some in-person classes. Why? If you are not on a certain class list, it means you are not correctly or completely registered for that particular unit. So for every unit, ensure that you appear on the class list. Not being on a class list should be reason enough for you to go to registry or to come to our office, Students Finance, to ask, did I really register? Or to go back to your portal and check that unit. Did I book the correct code, etc., etc. A repeated unit is treated as a fresh unit. So if you have done a unit and you have failed and you are registering it again, the fees will completely be the same as if you are doing it for the first time. Suspension, and I hope you will not be suspended, it rarely happens, apart from students who cheat in exams and students who engage in gross misconduct. But if you are suspended, you forfeit your fees for that particular semester. So you are suspended in the middle of the semester, you forfeit the fees that you had paid for that particular semester. Deferment, if you are deferring a semester, you are not going to be in the semester. And especially when you had booked and registered your units, you must communicate the same to your HOD, copy, registry, and Students Finance in that email. So you cannot book and register units, then one time have an issue and just leave for the semester. If you do that, you will be charged for the entire semester because you had booked and registered for those particular units. We do not allow fee transfer from student to student, especially for undergraduate students, because let me not tell you why, but we do not allow you to transfer your fees from the account of one student to the other. Fee refund is only done at the end of your course. So if you have excess fees in your account, utilize it in the following semester instead of asking us to refund it. If we have to refund it, we will refund when you will have cleared your final semester. And then institutional checks are also not refundable. You cannot receive funds from the county government of Kiambu and then say, because I have cleared all my fees, refund fees from that institution to us. We don't refund funds from CDF, county, HELB. Instead, you will write to us and we will refund that institution their funds, just in case you do not need to use it. Then transitioning students, those students who are moving from one course to another, you are moving, let's say, from diploma to bachelor's, or from bachelor's to master's. Ensure that you also change your number. We have students who have moved from diploma to bachelor's, but they still use their diploma number to pay fees. So their fees keep on going to their initial fee account. So you must transition fully and use your new number even in your payments. Receipts will be ready immediately. Ours is an auto receipting system. So immediately, for example, you pay via M-Pesa. If you use your right student account, that amount will reflect immediately in your account. But in case it doesn't, give it 1 day. If it doesn't, because you will be checking your fee statement as we have agreed. If it doesn't, let us know that you paid fees and it is not reflecting on your fee statement, and don't let us know at exam time. Immediately you pay, you just give yourself that day. If the amount is not reflecting, utatuambia. And then graduation fee is paid at the very last semester or after your last semester. So though it appears in your fee structure, the one you have been given now at admission, it is not supposed to be paid now. And so it's not going to be part of your fees invoice in the first semester, because not every one of us is going to graduate in SPU at the end of it all. So we prefer that you completely clear your fee, your course, then you pay graduation fees. And that is it from students. Finance, clap for me. And then ask questions. Ask questions. Or should I ask a question? I want one of us to remind us what is the registration process. If you don't remind me, I choose someone randomly. So how does it go? Especially as far as finance is concerned, when will we say that you are registered for a semester? I don't want you. I want a student. Let me see. The guy in gray, in a gray hood. Gray hood, that one. What is the registration process? Because mukijua here, I doubt that we will have issues during our stay here. Remind us the registration process, alafu tushike. You can even say the first one. I didn't see you coming in, so by the time I was talking, at least you were there. Sorry? Sorry? Ate said what? Yeah. No, is that what we said? The lady in a cream, I don't know that, but you know, you, please. Can you stand? please, because they are not going to hear, and that is where our orientation ends, please. Yes. Thank you. Clap for her. So that is it. Log on to your portal, book your units, pay at least 40%, and then register. And then we are good. After that, keep on checking your fee statement. And at the beginning of the semester, check your pro forma invoice. Why will you check your pro forma invoice at the beginning of the semester? One person? Why do you check your pro forma invoice at the beginning of the semester? What information does a pro forma invoice give you? I will now choose somebody who is using a phone because they are definitely not typing the answer. So the lady in a purple hood, 1987, what does the pro forma invoice show us? Anyone wants to help her? Because a pro forma invoice is important. Anyone? You want to help her? Yes, please. Okay, you have tried, but that is the fee statement. The fee statement will show you your invoice, the fees that you have paid, and your balance. The pro forma invoice, you can do it on day one, on the day that you book your unit, even without you paying any fees. So you just book the units, and then it will show you how much is your fee that semester and what is your 40%. Asante sana.
Umemaliza kwani?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Anne. Thank you for that presentation on finance. She has given us